Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend, Mr. Lumberjack Landlord. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Excited for segment number 2.
Yeah, so one of the things I want to do here is just realize that, yeah, we talk about real estate, we look at our market, we're doing acquisitions, all that stuff, but there's been a lot of geopolitical stuff going on. Death, destruction, just bad stuff. That can't be, you can't go, a day without realizing just horrible things are going on right now. And frankly, they probably go on all the time, but now they're front and center.
Yeah.
What I want to try to do here is kind of step back and address what happened, right? The geopolitical horrible things cause other things to happen that then cause other things to happen.
Mhm.
Eventually it rolls down to the person that I track and follow, which is the consumer.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's odd to say, but it's still what I track, even when Russia invades Ukraine and drops bombs on apartment buildings and just horrible things. It still rolls down to the consumer. But
Mhm.
before we get into it, what are your thoughts? What's going on? What have you seen transpire in your world?
Also, I'm Ukrainian. My lineage is, and I'm second gen here, and so yeah, I mean it's disheartening to hear every single day that they know what's going to happen and they don't do anything about it, quite frankly. And if you ever need a lesson from the world stage, when the US went to Ukraine and said, hey, get rid of all your nukes in 1994, just trust us, we'll take care of you.
Mm.
And in 2014, they get invaded, they don't get taken care of, and don't rely on other people, rely on yourself, make sure that you have a solution in place that allows you to sleep at night. And yeah, quite frankly, we find ourselves here because 2 administrations in 1994 and in 2014 didn't do the right thing. And now you got a crazy man on your hands with nuclear capability. And every single day we hear that it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. Then why are we not doing anything about this? It's going to get worse. So yeah, so I think that, people, especially, there, I mean, think about this. In America, we've never been in a position where we were driving past a depot and getting handed guns and ammunition so we can prepare to defend ourselves and our family. And that's a very unique thing to have to wrap your head around. So we are extremely blessed in this country where we are largely focused mostly inwardly on ourselves and our families and providing them a financial, thriving financial future as opposed to just a future. Yeah. So yeah, so I think it puts things in perspective for everybody. Thoughts and prayers are certainly with the Ukrainian people. And at the same time, we have lives to try and live here and try and help them. But just people focusing on the day-to-day and seeing things like, I think probably the only people that are at least somewhat positive on what's going on over there are people that own Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't show you that illicit things going on with Bitcoin and that allows more things like that, I think that you're not paying attention to the flow and what's going on. So yeah, I think that it's unfortunate everything that's occurring overseas, and especially because it wasn't like it was a surprise. Like we've been hearing this for months and we just didn't do anything about it. So yeah, I think that everybody, like I said, the lesson that you can take from the world stage is be prepared to take care of yourself, be prepared to put yourself in a position, rely on no one, rely on no other programs or special conditions or special anything coming your way. Recognize that you're going to have to do it yourself, and you will far more likely be in far more control than others of what occurs over the course of their life.
Yeah. There's a lot in that, folks. Again, someone with Ukrainian descent kind of sharing very passionately with what is going on there. When I step back and look at what's happening, and I'm already looking, I don't usually look back. I try to look forward, right? And given everything I see out there, there's certainly talks of peace treaties or whatever, which you hope ceasefires, all that. You just hope that stuff happens.
Sure.
But I'm always about preparing for the downside.
Yeah.
Because if you can prepare for the downside, the upside takes care of itself, right?
Yes.
That's just how I've operated my entire sales career, frankly.
Mhm.
So now when I think about the worst case scenario, obviously you've probably all heard about this, whatever it is, 40-mile long or 17-mile long
Mhm.
armored vehicles coming to Kiev, I think is how you pronounce it, which doesn't leave me warm and fuzzy with possibilities. It just screams bad. Just
Very
bad.
Mhm.
And if you play that out, even just, it's just so bad. First and foremost, the commodities in that area, which is
Sure.
right, wheat and flour and oil and all these things are just going to go up and up and up.
Mhm.
The cost of money is going to go down, right? You've seen the 10-year just collapse from 2.1 to 1.7 or something today.
Yeah.
So
That's
if you want to refi some money, now would be the time.
shocking.
But the thing for me that really gives me pause is if this trail of vehicles makes it and they do what they're going to be capable of doing and level the city.
Mhm.
I don't think we're the same after that. And I'm talking the world,
world?
are the same if we allow that to happen.
No, that's why I don't understand when you have data.
Yeah.
Why aren't you acting on data? I mean, they're driving. It's 40 miles long.
Yeah, you can see, you've got pictures.
Like nonstop pictures. And the funny thing is it's like, it's been a little bit of idiocy on Russia's part because they literally have vehicles breaking down and running out of gas. Like, well planned, jackass. So the fact of the matter is that, did you and I wait in our sales career to try and close every piece of business that we could because somebody said that this deal was definitely coming in and that I should just push some of my other deals into the next quarter? Did you ever, right? Did you ever do? No, you always take the deal down based on the data that you have, period, end of story.
Mhm.
And so for the world to be standing by and watching people get murdered because they have the data and they're not acting on it is just completely infuriating, just completely infuriating. So I think that as it relates to real estate, I think, when they do get to a point, whether it's in 2 weeks, 30 days or 60 days, as soon as the war is over, I think that rates will unbelievably bounce, like fast and hard. And quite frankly, I don't understand why the Fed isn't announcing that they're tapering like now. Like, hey, here's an auction for $1 trillion. Like, let's get some of this stuff off of our balance sheet.
Mhm.
Because the world still wants US dollars.
Yeah, that's one thing I've said pretty clearly. If the biggest fear I've always had pre this was the Fed unloading their 9 trillion or $9.1 trillion balance sheet.
Yes.
Well, sometimes opportunity comes disguised as a problem. So, but what do people want today? Treasuries. Sell that stuff now, right?
They should
whack it in half.
100. Yeah. Get it off the balance sheet, take the money. That's absolutely what the rest of the world should be doing and wanting to do.
Mhm.
But I think that it's really funny because you look at what our country could be. We could be the world's largest energy supplier.
Mhm.
And we are choosing not to be. We're making the choice not to be. That just blows my mind. I think when you have resources that you leverage those resources, what have you and I done for 20 years? We've leveraged our resources to the best of our abilities to create successful businesses.
Mhm.
And this is where I find it reprehensible what we're doing as a country when we are not doing our best to have the highest level of security that we can for ourselves. We are still writing checks for Russian oil. How dumb are we? So yeah, I just look at it and say, I want to know for me, for my business, that I can depend on myself. And that is, everybody else can say whatever they want to say. I want to protect my business, protect my family, and do all the things that I can to do that. And that means doing the work, understanding what I'm doing, taking calculated moves and risks. And I think that all those things are part of running a really successful business. And so I think that, anytime that you're putting your ability to execute in somebody else's hands, I think it is absolutely fraught with error.
Yeah.
That's my take.
With that happy note, we will end this session. How can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Lumberjack Landlord on Instagram. You got me to talk political, Mike. I don't talk political.
Yeah, I don't normally either.
Yeah.
But as someone with Ukrainian descent, I think that was an important discussion. Thank you,
I
buddy.
appreciate that.
Mhm.